Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, Celebrity recently announced that they're going right into the river cruise business, right? Where they're building a few ships. They've already got a couple of ships being built. I think one's called the Compass. They're going to be launching in 2027. And we got our first details kind of came out about it and some of the features that they're going to have on board. And we always said if a ocean cruise liner is going into the river cruise liner, are they going to make some changes that appeal to the ocean cruiser? So I just came off an AMA Waterways river cruise, loved it, had a really good time, completely different than ocean. And now I'm going to compare what I think about the Celebrity river cruises and will they kind of mix the two together? So right away with the diagrams we've seen from the ships, you can see a couple of things right off the bat. First of all, it's going to be very distinctive. You're definitely going to know it's a Celebrity river cruise ship when you see it with the big X's on the side, just like you would see on the funnels and the sides of the ships that you would see on the ocean. Another thing you're going to notice right away if you sailed on any of the Edge class ocean cruises, right? Celebrity Edge, Celebrity Beyond, the Excel, the Ascent. Well, these ships kind of have taken an awful lot from the design features of those ships, including the top decks, the kind of the front of the ship look, the aesthetics on board, if you will. They all kind of really took a lot from those ships. So it's kind of be curious because I'm looking at the main design of the ship. I'm looking at the side, and they also say that they're going to have one of the dining experiences on board. They claim to have 6 different dining venues on board. Now, that's a lot. That's a lot of different dining venues on board. I was just on the AMA Magna, which is a double wide, huge ship. They had 4 dining venues on board. This one says it's going to be 6, and it's not a double wide. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to be much smaller, obviously, because they don't have the space that they do on the Magna. But we'll have to see what they look like. They're probably going to be beautiful. Of course, like all river cruises, they're going to be featuring local cuisine, local wines, wherever you're going. They're going to be sailing on the Danube and the Rhine. So you're going to go to places like Vienna, Passau, Budapest, those kind of places like I just did on the AMA Magna. But here's some of the changes that they're going to be doing. First of all, they say they're going to have more deck space than the average river cruise because they're going to have multiple open decks. Now, if you've been on a river cruise, you know the main open deck is the top deck, right? You get up on top, you can play chess, some of them have a pool, you got the walking track, you got deck chairs, etc. That's your outdoor space on a river cruise. However, if you look at the design on Celebrity, they also have in the front of the ship an open deck near the front that's going to be a dining venue. On the aft of the ship, they have where they're going to have a lower pool area, lower than the top deck, and then below that another open space down below for bar and dining as well. So it seems like they're really going with the more outdoor space. Hopefully it still can be covered slightly in case it rains. Being in Europe, it could get rain. It could also get very cold as you're doing those Christmas markets, etc., which this ship will be doing. These ships will be doing that as well. So that's something to take into consideration while you're booking these cabins and these ships. Now, they don't go, they don't sail until 2027. We don't really know all the keys and everything of what exactly is going to be offered, what exactly is going to be done. We're just kind of seeing pictures, right, of some of the things. Now, they are offering a variety of cabins starting from your basic river view, which means you don't have a balcony. You're going to be just around the water line, below the water line, and you're going to have a window up above, bringing in natural light. These are the smallest cabins on board, and they are literally about 135 square feet. So very, very tiny. Remember, this is not unusual for river cruises. River cruises cabins are not huge. You're not going to find, you know, a 2,500 square foot suite on a river cruise. Just not going to happen. So be prepared when you're looking at these for the size. As an example, an average, say a mini suite on a Princess ship, the average is over 300 square feet. Well, I haven't seen a cabin yet, including the suites, that are over 300 square feet on this river cruise design so far, just to give you an example of the differences that can be. Then you're going to have an infinite balcony, which is a direct design from the Edge class, which is just you don't have a balcony you step out onto. You have it's divided into two in the middle, and one half of the window pulls down. This does save space on the ship, but in your room, it doesn't really give you a place to step out into the fresh air on. It's part of your room now. It's just like opening a window in an apartment and looking out, as opposed to stepping onto a balcony, right? So they do have those. Slightly larger, not a whole lot larger than the river view. And you can see if you look in the bathrooms, they're, you know, a good size, but still a little tight, right? They're taking up space. They're well designed and everything. They have the handheld shower head, etc. And eventually, as you get up into the larger suites, you will get a rain shower head and a little wider bathroom as well. They also have a balcony cabin, which will give you kind of like a quarter balcony, it looks like, in your room, with a little bit of a seating area on the side. At least you can step out into the fresh air if you want. Most people on river cruises don't actually use the balconies too much. They go up on the top deck if they want to sit and read, etc. Because quite often on a river cruise, you're parked during the day beside another ship, right? Or when you're sailing at night, it's pitch black. A lot of times you're sailing through the countryside, etc. There's not a lot to see. So yeah, you don't really use your balcony other than the fresh air sometimes is very, very nice. One of the suites that I'm very curious about is an infinite skylight suite. Now this one comes with a much larger bathroom, and it has natural light coming in from a skylight above. And I'm just wondering, can people look in to this suite? They can't, right? They got to have a design somehow that if you have a natural light skylight into your room, in your bedroom, people can't just look in. There's got to be a way around it. They got to have something in there. So I'm really curious about what they're going to do there, unless this is for the upside down pineapple people, right? It's a special suite just for them. Pricing, don't know yet. Don't know what the pricing is going to be on these. Some of the benefits I'm seeing, though, is that I'm seeing that you're going to be able to get food 24 hours a day, which you cannot get on most river cruises. There's certain set timelines. Here they say there's going to be a venue that's going to be available, at least for some things, 24 hours a day. They also say things like pop, and that is going to be included during the day and other times, not just set dinner times, which a lot of river cruises have. Really kind of excited about that idea. Of course, being celebrity, your status is going to carry over to the Celebrity River Cruises as well, from Celebrity and Royal Caribbean and Silver Sea. So if you have high status with them, you're going to jump on board with a high status. Now, are you curious about these? Are you thinking to yourself, yeah, I think I'd like to give this a shot? It looks like a beautiful ship. It really does. It does look like a beautiful ship, absolutely, and something unique in the river cruise market. So how do you get on? Well, you can put a $500 hold, which gives you a priority booking. window, which means when they become available, not yet, when they become available, you'll be the first people that will be allowed to go in and try and reserve a cabin and a suite and put more money down. Here's the problem though. They went on sale yesterday. These priority booking window $500 deposits. And as of this morning at 6 a.m. in the morning when I logged into the website, they are no longer available. They are closed. They are sold out. That's how much interest was it. Now remember, there's only 2 ships, right? So if you have, thousands upon thousands of Royal Caribbean and celebrity people, plus the river cruise people who are just curious about these new ships, all trying to get in there at once, they're putting these holds on them. Doesn't mean they're going to book. Doesn't mean they're going to book, but they did put their money where their mouth is and reserved ahead of time that they're going to be able to have at least the first opportunities to book these ships. So it could be quite a while before some of these cabins open up. We may start to see the 3rd and 4th ships come online before we get a chance to book anymore. So I'll keep you informed. I would have liked to jump on these, but I cannot commit to 2027 any particular time. Yeah. They do look beautiful though. I will give them that. These ships look absolutely beautiful from the pictures that we're seeing in the design concept. Let me know in the comments down below, would you give Celebrity River Cruises a charge? If you're a longtime Viking, AMA Waterways, Uniworld, if you're a part of any of those your longtime river cruisers, are you going to give Celebrity a try? Are you going to stick with the tried and true, the other river cruises that you love? I just came off AMA Waterways. Absolutely had a great time. Crew were great, food was good, loved the ship, my cabin was great. What more could I ask for, right? What more could I ask for? Well, we'll find out if Celebrity has those answers. So until next time, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.